Okay, hi, hello, and welcome everyone for another episode of the GTEX show. Well, he's here your host, Simone Vincenzi, and as every Wednesday, we bring more purpose and abundance in your life and business. So tonight, I'm actually buzzing because I have the honor of having here in our show Ruben West. Give us away, Ruben.
Hey,
Hi.
how's it going?
Yeah, exactly. So you can already see his energy. He's ready. He's already on the pit for for tonight. And just for those of you that are not familiar with the GTEX show, we are here based in London, and our aim and our purpose is to help people that are passionate about personal development, that want to make an impact in the world, but they somehow don't have a bloody clue on really how to do that. They say, "Yeah, I want to make it happen, but I don't know how." So we give you the clarity and we give you the tools that you need to create the life and the business that will allow you to make an impact in the world and also in your personal life. And in particular, with the GTEX show, we provide you with world-class experts like Ruben here tonight that are going to give you some tips and hints that actually will take your life or business to the next level. Right. So I've said enough about us. Now it's all about Ruben, and I'm really excited about introducing Ruben. First of all, because he's a man that walks his talk. I met him briefly a couple of months ago, actually, because we were supposed to co-host a webinar together,
Right.
and I remember that I found your contacts there. And as I usually do, I always stalk people on Facebook, and I remember that I was really impressed about your bio and what you are doing, and also your new book, which
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about in a minute.
sure.
So, what I know that he was born in Topeka, Kansas, and is the vision breakthrough expert. He's a professional certified success coach, trainer, entrepreneur, published author, multiple times published author, as I know, and a very dynamic speaker. We will speak tonight. Basically, here to share with you three very important tips that he accredits to helping him start three. So not one, not two, but three successful businesses generating millions of dollars. And something that is really fundamental for me when I asked Ruben about, can you please share something about you? And he wrote me something, and he said, my mantra is not what you hear, it's what you listen. On this note, Ruben,
Yes.
welcome on the show. Hi.
Hey, thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be here. And let me first say that, there's people who really step up and bring information to other people and to help them be successful. And so I would just want to commend you and your show for doing just that. So thank you. I'm glad to be on your show.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you. As we start, the first question, we are passionate about purpose. And for
Yes.
me, my life quest has been what is this purpose thing that a lot of people consider to be one of the most important things in life, but sometimes it's not that clear. What is purpose for you, Ruben?
Absolutely. So purpose for me is, I have a saying that there's things that you're trained to do, but then there's things that you're ordained to do. In other words, there's things that you've been given dominion over, some power that you bring when you come into a room, that you bring to the table. And so this, what I feel is your purpose. Is like a lot of us have a job. And there's nothing wrong with that. We go to work every day. We have to make a living. We feed our family. But your job is what you're paid for. Your purpose is what you're made for. And so when we determine what is it that we're made for, why were we brought here, who are we sent here to impact, then we're starting to understand what our purpose is. For me, I believe my purpose is to be a speaker, to impact other people's lives and to help them through my training and development.
That's brilliant. I love what you said. Your job is what you're paid for. Your purpose is what you are made for. If you're watching this, like, write this down right now. And and what I really want to ask you is, how did you discover your purpose? How did you discover that actually your purpose was to become a speaker, to impact lives?
Yeah.
I'm really curious about that.
So, and that's a great question. And let me just say that oftentimes we go through life, and I'm sure that there's people watching right now, and you're saying, Ruben, I know I'm meant to do something. I know I was made for something or ordained to do something, but I really don't know what that is. See, that's the difficult thing. And so, you know, people that I work with, they come to me and they want to work with me. And what they really want to know is, how do I find what that purpose is when I really don't know? And so here's what I'm going to tell them to do is, there's something that when you do it, when you share it with other people, when you talk about it, when you experience it, it creates a shift. It creates an impact. There's something that you do that creates an impact in other people's lives. Now, how do you know? Because they'll tell you, hey, you know, the way you cook, it really makes it. I love your cooking. Or I watch you when you work with the young people or the youth. They just light up when their eyes around you. Or when you stand in front of the classroom, the students light up. Or when you go into the nursing home, the people just come alive because you walked in the door. What you're realizing then is that you're making an impact. What you're starting to see is that you're starting to get in touch with your purpose. Now, for me, I didn't just walk out and become a speaker. I've tried many different things. I've done many different things and been successful at them. So I also believe that we can have a multi-fold purpose, that one stage in our life, our purpose is this. But as we move through that transition, our purpose becomes something different. And so what I'm going to encourage you is to never stop searching, never stop seeking, and never stop looking for where your life is making an impact.
And that's beautiful what you said about the multi-purpose life. Because some people come and ask me, well, Simone, is there just one purpose in life? And as you said, no. We're like, are we the same person every time? No, they're not. Like,
No.
It's really fascinating to see how we evolve. Our purpose evolve, and as you said, never stop seeking. Never stop. Because the moment you stop seeking,
right,
is the moment where you die. Don't you agree?
I agree. And here's the thing. It's the seeking that gives you the understanding. It's in your seeking that you find it. A lot of times you're going to try some things and you're going to say, well, you know what? That's not for me. But you would never know unless you try. See, I believe this. Don't try, and you can try and fail, but don't fail to try. You have to try. You have to get out there. You have to reach out there. You have to try some different things. You may like it, you may not, but if you don't try, you'll always be wondering. You'll always be wondering, was that for me? So for me, I just believe that you're supposed to be out there. For me, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I have a martial arts school over in Topeka, Kansas. I've had for 16 years. I started a surgical assistant company. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a published author. There's many different things. And so like you're multifaceted too. And I believe that the listeners will realize that they're multifaceted, but there's things out there that they need to experiment with to see how they impact their lives.
It is definitely true. Thank you for making this point, because I see so much frustration when people say, what is the one thing, the one purpose? Oh my days. And they say, go out and find it. Go out and find it. Live life. And then by living, as you said, you will find what is your purpose.
Exactly.
What is not your purpose.
Yeah, what is not your purpose. That's right.
And the question now is, so you said that you were sharing some like 3 tips that made you like the person you are, that made you the success actually that
Mhm.
you have right now. And I'm sure that those three tips are also linked with your purpose.
Yes.
So can you please like start sharing? Because I'm actually, when you said I'm sharing those things, I'm like, I'm ready. I've got my notepad here. I'm taking notes now, man. Okay, let's start, Ruben.
So the first thing I'm going to say is that, you know, a lot of times when we're seeking our purpose, or a lot of times when we're setting out to make a difference, we have one thing in mind, but oftentimes we figure out that it's something different that we never saw coming. And what that usually is the difficulty. So the first thing that I tell everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, first thing I tell everybody who's seeking their purpose, first thing I tell everybody who wants to be successful at business or a relationship or whatever it is,
Mhm.
first thing, and make sure you write this down, because if you do this, you'll have success. If you don't, you'll find yourself struggling. The first thing is you have to expect to be tested. See, Helen Keller said character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through the experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. It's not going to be an easy road. See, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. If it was easy, everybody'd be having it. If it was easy, we just walk right over and do it. It wouldn't be anything to it, but it's not going to be easy. And I feel that what trips most of us up is because we don't expect to be tested. Let me tell you this. If you have boxing, and so if you've ever watched boxing, you see the heavyweight champion. I remember there was a champion from England. His name was Frank Bruno, right? He was a heavyweight boxer. But one of the things I've realized as I studied boxers and heavyweight champions is there really wasn't heavyweight champions that grew up with silver spoons in their mouths. That most of the time they grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. Most of the time they grew up in difficult homes, in difficult circumstances. And so they were they were given the advantage of disadvantage. In other words, they were purposely given this disadvantage, and that disadvantage brought the best out of them. That disadvantage made them work for it. That disadvantage took them to the gym day after day after day, and it allowed them to change their life. And when they knew that they were going to be boxers, guess what they expected? They expected to be tested. They didn't think that they were going to walk into the ring and just win the championship right off the bat. They didn't think that they were going to go into the gym and there wasn't going to be some hitting on the heavy bag, some jumping of the rope, some sweating. No, they didn't think that. They knew from the start that it was going to be difficult. They knew from the start that somebody already had the championship belt, but they were given the advantage of disadvantage. And whatever it took, they were willing to do it. And so if you want to be successful, whether it's in your home, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your relationship, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that you just have to expect to be tested. What do you think about that?
Expect to be tested. I definitely agree. I've seen successful people, unsuccessful people, mediocre people, great people, and everyone, no matter where you are tested.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, it's not about going and be tested once,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
once
right.
you're tested once, you're tested twice. And he said,
Right.
it's enough. No, it's not enough. You have to spend the third time. Right.
Right.
And it's never ending. And as you said, our character cannot be formed in quiet and peace.
Mm-mm. Not at
It's
all.
impossible. Like we go through the struggle. So thank you very much. And so the first one, expect to be tested. What's the second?
Absolutely. The second step is, this is kind of a really easy tip when you understand it. What's hard is to manifest it, is that you're going to be successful and you have to do it by any means necessary. Listen to this. Do it by any means necessary. Listen to this. I was watching on television. They were running a marathon in Austin, Texas. And this was just not too long ago. It was hot outside. They were running a marathon. And there was a runner. Her name was Yvonne Nathich. And Yvonne was winning the women's race. She was 300 yards from the finish line. She had already completed over 25 miles. She was 300 yards from the finish line. And then listen, her body gave out. She started weaving back and forth. She was getting dizzy. People were clapping for her. They were cheering for her. But literally, she collapsed to the ground 300 yards from the finish line. Now, as soon as she collapsed to the ground, the medics start running out. The paramedics came out. They had a wheelchair for her. They were bringing her an IV. They had a water bottle, some Gatorade. They were bringing all of this stuff to her, and they were going to help her up off the ground. And she was like, no, no. That she made a commitment that she was going to finish. See, sometimes when we start out on our business, sometimes when we get in that relationship that we thought was going to be easy, even though we expected to be tested, there's going to be a breakdown. There's going to be a collapse. She just collapsed right out there, and people are going to rush in to carry you off to tell you, you know what? You did enough. You tried your best. You went as far as you could, but you have to do like Yvonne the Teach and say, no. That I made a commitment that I was going to finish this race, that I made a commitment that I wanted to this business, that I made a commitment that I was going to cross the finish line. And you know how I'm going to do it? By any means necessary. Let me tell you what she did. She started crawling out there on the hot concrete, one step after another step after another step. The people went crazy. They started clapping. They started cheering. They started yelling her name. Listen, she wasn't going to stop. And here's what happened. After a while, from being on her hands and knees, her knees were bloody. Guess what? When you go after your dream, sometimes you're going to get bloody. When she started crawling, her hands got dirty. Guess what? Sometimes when you try to save that relationship, it's going to be dirty. But she was committed to finish by any means necessary. And she crawled across the finish line. When she crossed, she literally collapsed. Now, let me tell you what happened. They picked her up. They put her in the wheelchair. She could barely sit up. You could see the blood running down her knees. You could see the dirt on her hands, but you could also see the smile on her face. And when she was winning, she was in first place. By the time she crawled across the finish line, she ended up in third place. She crawled to third place, but let me tell you what they did. They said, we've never seen anybody with that kind of heart and determination. We've never seen anybody who collapsed. Their body gave out. We brought you help, but you wanted to crawl across the finish line. They doubled her prize money. Wow. See, I believe when you finish by any means necessary, life is going to give you things that you never even saw coming. Why? Because you didn't give up. You did it by any means necessary. And I believe that that's the number 2 point, that it's going to take mindset development. It's going to take skill set development. You're going to have to team up with some other people. You're going to find creative ways to make it happen. But how do you make it happen? By any means necessary. That's how.
That's brilliant. Do it by any means. And as you said, and what I'm really loving about that, Ruben, is not many people talk about this, because you have those, yeah, you can go, you can achieve your dream, you can be anything you want in life, but they don't sell you that actually is bloody hard work, that you get to get blood on your knees, that you get your hands dirty. And what I'm really loving about this is like your honesty in that, because obviously it feels that you have been there. It feels that you got your knees bloody, you got your hands dirty, but then finally you can say, you know what? They tripled my money prize, and you got a smile on your face, and you got a smile. But it's not about. And what I believe is that at the end of the day, when you had those moments, that doesn't become any more about the money.
No,
the money is like, yeah, thank you, but when is what you feel inside.
Yes.
So, we have the first one, which is expect to be tested. Then we have the second one, do it by any means. Well, Ruben, let's finish the loop. What's the third one?
The third one is tricky because sometimes we get discouraged. See, that's just life, that we expected to be tested. We're trying to finish by any means necessary, but then we realize that we almost got there. But here's what I want to tell you. Even when you think you've arrived, it's far from over. You have to realize that life is far from over. Listen, I got to tell you this, Mo. I was watching this horse race. It was a brilliant horse race. And as soon as they opened up the gate, the horses took off, but one of the horses stumbled out of the gate. Immediately, just stumbled out of the gate. Now, I couldn't imagine how much work and preparation went into this horse race. And as soon as they opened the gate, it stumbled out of the gate. That's what happens to some of us. that we expected to be tested, that we were going to do it by any means necessary. But it's not even fair that as soon as the gate opened, we stumbled and we thought we were going to have this right business. We thought we had all of our ducks in a row. Let me help you out. Ducks never get in a row sitting still. They only get in a row once you start moving. And so you had to get moving to get your ducks in a row. They literally opened the gate. The horse was at dead last. Within 3 seconds, he was last. And as they went around, it was so far behind. But here's the funny thing. What we don't do that the horses do is they wear blinders. And you know why? Because it prevents distractions. So many times we listen to the people in the stands. So many times we listen to the announcers. So many times we listen to the people who tell us we're not smart enough. We're not capable. We're underqualified. We're overqualified. That we don't have what it takes. We listen to these people. And it's not the truth. It's their opinion. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That's why I thought it was brilliant that they put the blinders on the horses, because all they do is focus on the end of the race. Just focus on the end. It doesn't matter that you tripped coming out of the gate. It doesn't matter that you fell down. Yes, you fell down, but that's not what's going to be the deciding factor. What's going to make the decision if your relationship is difficult is whether you're willing to get back up and work on it. What's going to make the decision whether you had to file for bankruptcy or you had financial issues or whether you're willing to go back and work on it. Why? Because it's far from over. This horse was dead last as they came around the backstretch. When they came around the final turn, the horse was still last. But then all of a sudden, this horse that tripped coming out of the gate, stumbled and was dead last, started making his move. And for the first time, the announcer started calling his name. But the horse just kept on running. The crowd was going crazy. They were cheering, but it really didn't matter. He wasn't really listening to the crowd. He was going for the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's something that you want, you have to keep your eyes on the finish line. Now, this blew me away because I think you see where this is going. This horse that stumbled out of the gate, this horse that was last down the backstretch, this horse that was last coming around the final turn, this horse won the race.
Man.
He won the race. And listen, wait a minute, listen. This is great. Listen. I didn't tell you what the horse's name was. Far From Over. Bam! The horse's name was Far From Over. Ladies and gentlemen, even if you fall, expect to be tested. You have to. Even if you fall, expect to be tested. Even if you fall, realize you got to do it by any means necessary. And regardless of what happens in your life, you have to realize that it's far from over.
Wow, Ruben. Well, it's far from over, of course. You have, as you said, you have to focus on the end. You have to focus on the end line, because sometimes you stumble at the beginning. And I'm telling you this, when we started GTEx, was that now 2 years ago? We started our first event. And me and my business partner, you know, like 22 years old, big dreams, big vision. We had our room. We had invitation to people. We have our 2 speakers in the room. In the room, there were 4 people. 2 were the speakers.
Right.
One was the husband of the one.
Yes.
And the other one was my business partner's dad. Right? Yes. Okay. Yes. So, and you know, open the gate, boom, first stumble. But then keep going. And now you have room with 40, 50, 60 people. And then it grows, and it grows.
Again, of course, you know, my friend said this, and it was really brilliant. He said, success is not measured in the results of the attempt, but the willingness to attempt the results. See, what I like about what you said is that you had the room. And there's so many people that are sitting on the fence, they won't even get the room. That you can't expect to make it the first time. You just have to try it. Now, you're going to get some results exactly like you did, but here's what you do. You adjust the formula, you go back and do it again and again and again. There's a reason why there's a lubricant called WD-40. It was the 40th formula. They didn't get it right the first time, right? There's a formula 409th formula. They didn't get it right the first time. You guys got the room. You had 4 people in the room. You didn't get it right. Didn't do is you didn't quit. That you realized that the success was not measured in the results of the attempt, but the willingness to attempt the results. I got to commend you for that. And I got to commend you to pressing through that dismal showing at the beginning and realizing that you would be successful if you didn't quit. So I got to commend you on that.
Thank you very much. And there is something that actually I want to commend you for something as well. And I know that you have a destination.
Yes.
And your destination is a destination to mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a bit more about that? Because there's something very juicy coming up. Tell me a bit more about that.
Sure. So that's my book, Destination Mastery, 7 Steps to Viral Success. Now, let me tell you about that when I say viral success. When you think of something going viral, it means you can't control it. Like a video goes viral, it hits all of these different things. There's results that you never saw coming. And so what I'm talking about is, how do you take your success viral? And I believe that there's 7 steps, and I talk about those steps within my book. But one of the things that I talk about is that you have to act with faith and gratitude, that you have to be thankful for what you have, right? Because that's how you get more of what you have. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. What you focus on grows. So that's one of the tips in there. Another tip I talk about is that you have to sacrifice for what's necessary. See, there's certain things that don't go hand in hand. If you want to be successful and you want to sit in front of the TV all day, it's not that type of party, right? If you want to be successful and you're not willing to give up your time for personal development, for working on your mindset, working on your skill set, working on your relationships, it's not going to work. And so I talk about in the book, there's certain things that you have to give up to go up. And so, and when you go up, where are you going? You're going to a destination of mastery. And what does that mean for me? That's for me to decide. What it means for you, that's for you to decide. But this book gives you the steps regardless of what you feel like it means. And so I'm excited about the book. I'm excited to share it with the people. And then I also have a Destination Mastery CD. In the book is a number of quotes. There's also a number of 7 mastery tips. And so I put those quotes and mastery tips on a CD to music so that the people can listen to them and literally inundate them in their mind.
And something that I've learned is that leaders are readers. I'm sure you can. And I can see actually your background, and it's full of books. So I have actually, well, it's, of course you're there. Of course you're there. And for everyone that is listening, the most important investment that you can make is in yourself.
Absolutely.
It's something that I firmly believe. And having that time to read those books that can help you to actually get all this information into your subconscious mind, so you actually become that person, that's vital. So what are you saying, Ruben?
You know, what you're saying is absolutely correct. You know, over here in the US, we have the lottery, the Powerball, and people play the Powerball and they're really hoping for a chance to win millions and millions of dollars. But here's the problem. There's a show on TV. It's called How the Lottery Ruined My Life. You know why? Because in life, you can get what you want, but you can only keep what you are. See, they give the people millions and millions of dollars, but they don't have a millionaire mindset. And so within 5 to 7 years, studies show that regardless of how much money that they won, 85 to 90% of them filed bankruptcy within 5 to 7 years, where it was 10 million, 100 million, 150 million. It didn't matter. Why? Because you can get what you want, but you can only keep what you are. And if you don't have a mindset to attract wealth, it doesn't matter if it was given to you, it's going to be taken away or you'll throw it away. And so elevating your mindset, changing the person that you are, literally changes your outlook. It changes your future, and you attract different people into your circle. There's a reason that you and I are connected. We attracted to each other because we have like minds. We think alike. You said readers are leaders. You put together this show to help elevate other people. I like speaking into people's lives. We attracted to each other, right? And there's some people that are out there doing things that they'll never be on your show because they're not attracted to your show, nor are you attracted to having them as a guest. So for the people who are listening, look, you have to elevate your mind. You have to surround yourself with achievement-driven, collaborative, supportive relationships with people you can share with and gain from.
Indeed. And it's so powerful surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And when you're not with those people, reading a freaking book, because I tell you, I personally either read or listen between 2 to 3 books a week, right?
Mhm.
And I found that there is a massive difference in the person I was before.
Oh yeah.
Trust you me, before the age of 23 or 22, like 4 years ago, I don't give me a book. I think I read 3 books in my life. Then
Yeah,
my teacher gave
exactly.
it to me, right? And it was like, then after I changed my mindset, I said, okay, you know what? If I want to make something with my life, I have to become that something. And books
Exactly.
help me a lot. So I'm definitely going to post the links where you can get this book beneath this video that you're watching. But for people that want to know more about you, Ruben, where they can find you.
Sure. So they could go to my website. It's Ruben, Ruben West, West 360. Ruben West 360.com. So that's where they can find my website. They can also find me on social media on Facebook at Ruben West, RubenWest. And then I have a fan page, Ruben West Speaks, Speaks. I usually release a video every single Sunday. So if you're around next Sunday, I know today's Wednesday when you're watching it, but if you're around next Sunday, go ahead and go to my page. You could click some of the videos that I've released before, and you can also catch a new one every week. Feel free to like them and share them.
Yeah, and we are going to post all these links here below this page, so you can follow Ruben and you can really get his book. I'm actually gonna get it now because I'm really excited after hearing him speak. Actually, I wanted to get him before, but after hearing him speak, man, that's a must read for everyone. Well,
Yeah,
so,
and let me tell you
yeah,
this. They
please.
can also get, if they can get the fastest way to get it internationally is on Amazon.com. So if they go to Amazon.com, that's the fastest way to get it internationally. Now, if they want to read about the book, go to my personal website, Destination Mastery. But fortunately, Amazon has a lot better shipping system than I do personally. So if they go to Amazon.com, right, type in Destination Mastery, we'll let them do that work. But they can get it right there, and they'll get it right over to them.
That's brilliant. So I have to say now it's time to wrap up.
Yes.
Thank you very much to Ruben for being here tonight. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you for sharing your tips to becoming
Absolutely.
really, really, really successful in your life. And I guess if there is a one message that I'm getting out from tonight is to never, 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 never give up on your dreams,
Absolutely.
on your purpose in your life, because you have a purpose. You are made for something more, and it's your duty to make it happen, not for only for yourself, but for the people that you will impact.
Absolutely.
So that's all for me. Ruben, give us a wave. Thank you very, very much. It's been an honor being with you. And I'm looking forward connecting with you soon. Guys, keep following us on our Facebook page, on our website, www.gtex.org.uk. And keep following. Leave us a comment here. We would love to hear from you what you think, what are your tips for success, and how are you going to implement those actions in your life. That's all for me, all from Ruben. Thank you very much, everyone,
Thank
and
you.
see you soon. Bye.
See ya.